Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com, and welcome to my 2021 Kentucky Derby recap video. I will recap the Derby in this video, and then in my next video I'm going to preview the Preakness Stakes. But before we do that, I just want to thank everybody for watching and commenting on my 5 most likely Kentucky Derby winners video last week. We had over 45,000 views. That was the highest viewed video ever on our channel. So thank you everybody for watching that. Appreciate all the support, and we did well with that video obviously as well. Out of the 5 horses that I said were the most likely winners for the Derby, 3 of my 5 finished in the top 4. Medina Spirit, the winner; Hot Rod Charlie, the show finisher; and Essential Quality, the 4th place finisher. Then I did another video last week of the 3 live long shots for the Kentucky Derby, and the 2nd place finisher Mandaloun was in that video, along with 5th place finisher Besos. So we had the top 5 in those 2 videos, and hopefully you watched and you made some money on those videos. Now I sold my full card analysis every year, my annual Kentucky Derby full card from Churchill Downs. Did well with that full card, record sales this year, and then also we had over $2,400 in winning tickets on that full card, including 4 top choice winners, 2 best bet winners. We had an early pick 4. We had the Kentucky Derby as the final leg of the pick 3 that paid over $600. We came close to a huge day. Dream Shake in the Pet Day Mile was one of my best bets on the card, and he just missed Jackie's Warrior, and that would have given me another best bet winner, also a trifecta, a pick 4, and a pick 5. And then as for the Kentucky Derby, we were all around it. We just weren't able to get our winning tickets together. I had Hot Rod Charlie as a suggested win wager, and he was right there at the wire, obviously finishing a close 3rd. Had Medina Spirit on top in exactas over Hot Rod Charlie and Essential Quality, but those 2 just couldn't quite get 2nd. I had almost had the trifecta and the superfecta as well. So we were all around that Kentucky Derby. We just weren't able to cash some winning tickets there. But overall for the full card, had a very good day. And then hopefully for Preakness Day, we can continue that and maybe even have some winning tickets for the Preakness, as well as some many full card highlights on Preakness Day. And if you're interested in my Preakness Day full card from Pimlico, you can find that at the RunawayHorse.com Preakness week. So that'll be available next week. I'll have the Preakness done first. That'll be the first race I'll do. And then I'll cover all those undercard races, including pick 4, pick 5, pick 6 tickets, wagering strategies for all the races, extensive Preakness analysis, and much more. And that will be available Preakness week at therunawayhorse.com. Now let's recap the Kentucky Derby. In the Kentucky Derby, we thought, looking at the pace scenario, that probably Rock Your World was going to be the one to catch in there, but he wasn't able to get out of the gate. He just did not have a good start, and that kind of eliminated him right off the bat, because he really looked good in that Santa Anita Derby, getting out to the front and finishing well in front of Medina Spirit that day. But in the Kentucky Derby, he just didn't get out of the gate. That changed the pace complexion. Another horse that figured to be forwardly placed, Midnight Bourbon, he didn't really get out of the gate either. So Medina Spirit with John Velazquez aboard was able to get out there and set the pace, and he just kept going and kept fighting. And that's kind of been his MO all along. We kind of knew with Medina Spirit that he likes to get out there and set the pace like he did in the Robert Lewis Stakes. Now if you watch the Robert Lewis Stakes, you know that he got out there on the pace, and he was able to fend off early challenges and then late challenges as well. So he had multiple horses try to go after him early, and then a couple horses go after him late, including Hot Rod Charlie, but he turned them all away in that Robert Lewis Stakes, and he went wire to wire. Now in some of his other races, like the Sham Stakes, he ran well, but he didn't win. And then the Santa Anita Derby, same thing, he stalked the pace. He didn't get the lead there, but he did fight hard and hit the board and finish 2nd in both of those races. But for the Kentucky Derby, and like I mentioned, that Robert Lewis Stakes, when he can get out there and set the pace, he has that fighting spirit. He's an overachiever for Bob Baffert. He just gets out there and he just fights hard to the end, and he just does not like to be passed. And that was the secret to success for his Kentucky Derby. He got out there, he set the pace. Mandaloun, a live long shot in there at 25 to 1. He came after him at about the 1 mile mark, and then all through the stretch. But Medina Spirit just fought him off and would not let him go by, and he won by a hard-fought half length. And Mandaloun did finish 2nd in there, And Hot Rod Charlie, he did have some traffic issues, but overall, I thought, for a race like the Kentucky Derby with 19 horses, I thought he ran pretty well. He's had a good trip. No excuses there as my top choice in that race. He was stalking. He made a move coming around the far turn and into the stretch. He had every chance to get past the top two. He just wasn't able to get past them. Same with Essential Quality. Now, Essential Quality covered more ground than the top three finishers, and maybe he was slightly best in there if he didn't lose all that ground. But at the same time, he didn't have any excuses either. He had every chance. If he was a real star and he was just going to roll by these horses, he would have done it, but he just didn't. That just shows you the parity of this division. There's just horses that are at the top of the division are just so evenly matched under different pace scenarios. You can see multiple different outcomes. Maybe if a horse like Hot Rod Charlie or Essential Quality set the pace in this race, maybe they would have gone all the way and Medina Spirit would have been trying to get past them. But overall, the top four were well clear of the rest. The only horse that even tried to make up some ground in this race was Besos. He rallied from 12th place to ended up finishing 5th. And then right behind him, Midnight Bourbon did not run a bad race. He figured to be forwardly placed, but he wasn't. And he was able to pass some horses. He was actually 14th after 6 furlongs, and he rallied to finish 6th. Not a bad effort for Midnight Bourbon, who likes to be closer to the pace. A few others to mention in here. Keepmeinmind, he never really got involved. He was 19th and last for most of the running, and then he passed some tired horses, and he ended up finishing 7th. That's kind of how he runs. He likes to sit back, make a late run, and he needs a pace collapse, and he didn't get it because in this race, the speed just kept going. Known Agenda from the inside post didn't have the greatest trip, but again, not a terrible trip either. He just didn't have enough speed to keep up, and the race really didn't shape up for his liking. He's one that in the Belmont Stakes, I would expect that a race like that he could do much better, because in the Belmont he could just gallop and stay somewhat close to the pace, and he just might be able to outlast the other horses. He was one that I thought before the Derby, or maybe he could finish mid-pack in the Derby, and he could bounce back and run a better race in the Belmont Stakes. For trainer Todd Pletcher has had much more success in the Belmont Stakes than he has in the Kentucky Derby, and his horses that have run in the Derby and skipped the Preakness and ran in the Belmont typically do well. So look for Known Agenda maybe to bounce back in the Belmont Stakes. Highly Motivated probably didn't want to go this far. Sainthood just didn't have the experience. Bourbonic never got involved. Your shocking Wood Memorial winner from the outside post never got involved in this race. Superstock, your Arkansas Derby winner, didn't get really involved either. And then Rock Your World is the other one that's worth mentioning, that you can just draw a line through this one. If you were a fan of Rock Your World before this race, he really had no chance. So you just have to draw a line through it, and if he can get up on the pace, he's one that can do some damage in some races later this year. So we'll see where some of these horses end up running. Right now, it looks like a field of 9 for the Preakness. There could be some changes. There's been some ups and downs this week. We had maybe up to 12 horses pointing to the race, and then it was 10, and then we had some defections, and so now it looks like it's going to be a 9-horse field. But there could be a few more surprises in these next few days as some horses drop out and maybe decide to run or not run in the Preakness Stakes. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And make some comments in the comment section. What did you think of the Kentucky Derby? Did you cash in the Derby? And what do you think of the Preakness Stakes? What do you think of Medina Spirit's chances to win the Preakness? I think overall in the Preakness, I think he has a decent shot. The Belmont might be a much more challenging for him because there's going to be a lot of fresh faces that are just as fast as he is, and they're going to really probably fight throughout in that race. But Medina Spirit should have at least a solid chance to win the Preakness Stakes. And we'll see what happens if that ends up happening. It'll be exciting that we'll have a chance at the Triple Crown if that does happen. So that will wrap up this video. Again, thank you for those 45,000 views on that Derby video last week. Let's see if we can top that one at some point in the year. Excellent views there with 45,000. That topped one of our videos from 2019 that had over 40,000 too. But thank you very much for watching these videos and supporting my channel. And I'll be back next for my next video this week. I'm going to preview the Preakness Stakes. And again, if you're interested in my full card for Preakness Day, head on over to the runawayhorse.com. That will be available Preakness week next week. Now, until my next video, good luck at the races.